Cattle.
Over 1 million acres, there's no grass on the ground for them to eat. So hay is of dire importance.
If you don't get the hay to the livestock, what happens here?
The meat market dies.
And tonight, word of the first lawsuit. A woman suing power company Xcel, saying a wooden pole Xcel failed to properly inspect, snapped off at its base, adding powered utility lines hit the ground, igniting a fire. Xcel responding to that lawsuit, saying they are working to support the Panhandle, adding there has been no official determination of cause or causes for the fires, and investigations are ongoing. And tonight, back in Fritch, the community rallying to help those struggling.
This is our town. This is where we live. These are the people that we bump shoulders with every day. If we don't stay together as a town, who's going to do it?
So many hoping that some rain is in the forecast soon. Our thanks to Maria. Now we head overseas for the latest on the Israel-Hamas war. The Biden administration is increasing the pressure for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. Vice President Harris acknowledging the scale of suffering there. ABC's Tom Sufi Burridge is in Israel.
Tonight, amid growing desperation in Gaza, the US stepping up calls for a ceasefire. Vice President Kamala Harris meeting with a member of Israel's war cabinet with a pointed message. Time is running out to free more hostages. Calling on Hamas to accept the terms of an immediate 6-week ceasefire. The deadline is the end of this week.
We're in a window of time right now where we can actually get a hostage deal done. We all want this conflict to end as soon as possible, and how it does matters.
The push for a deal comes as the UN sets out clear and convincing evidence of sexual violence by Hamas militants during the October 7th attack. In a new report, the UN calling for a full investigation, saying hostages in Gaza were also sexually assaulted. The findings released by the US, Egypt and Qatar tell Israel it must allow more aid into the Strip. The US airdropping 38,000 ready-to-eat meals.
Hey everybody.
This weekend.
Hey Julio, full throttle. Junkyard dog, yuppie. Oh, tired.
One Gaza hospital saying 16 children have now died because of malnutrition.
How's it going, everyone?
That number could
Maxed out.
Spiral.
We are seeing children die because of malnutrition, because of dehydration, and we will see those numbers skyrocket without a ceasefire.
Time certainly of the essence there. Our thanks to Tom. Next tonight, a mystery going unsolved
that
for
was
a
gonna happen
decade.
a month
The
ago.
disappearance of MH370,
Now it's like you give a shit.
239 people on board vanished without a trace back in March of 2014.
Do you think starving people to death, like the women and children, do you think that's a war crime?
Joe Benitez has more on this latest effort.
Nearly 10 years after Malaysia Airlines Flight 370
When it comes to shit like that, I don't give a fuck what country. If they drop a fucking nuclear bomb on that country, who cares?
The Malaysian government says it may relaunch the search for the wreckage after a proposal from the American
And I know
Seabed
it's just
Exploration
the
Company
person who runs the country, but it makes you be hateful towards anyone of that race, like the white devil. Yeah.
With 239 people on board, but the plane
I think
returned and disappeared. Pieces of
whatever, God should wipe them off the face of the earth. They don't deserve it.
But despite the biggest search in aviation history, the crash site was never found. Ocean Infinity last searched in 2018.
This private company has information that they think has refined the search area.
Hey Aaron, my bike is fine. Oh, it was a big ordeal. So I went to the
we don't know if it's legitimate information.
To Rite Aid, and I wanted to lock my bike up, and I didn't know where my keys were, so they fell off my keychain.
Joe Benitez joins us now. Joe, what's the leading theory about the cause
just
of this
bought it.
mysterious crash?
So I'm looking for, you know, I don't see it. I'm like, where could it be? And, you know, take my keys off when I go to bed. And luckily it was at the bottom of the bed. So I found them. So it's pretty good.
I understand why. Gio Benitez put us our thanks to you. Here in New York today, the former CFO of the Trump Organization pleaded guilty to perjury in the state's civil fraud trial against Donald Trump.
Well,
prosecutors say Alan Weisselberg,
when people are dying, I don't think it's fake.
on Trump's behalf. The judge in the case ordered Trump last month to pay more than
Hey, Gavin, how's it going?
$50 for inflating the value of his properties. Here's Aaron Katersky with that report.
For almost 50 years, Alan Weisselberg
So I bought some
was a
beer,
trusted
so
lieutenant of
it's a
the
good
Trump
thing
family.
I don't have to spend
The
another
91st
$80
that loyalty is
on
sending
another
him to
lock.
jail. Weisselberg pleaded guilty to perjury.
I have 2
in
keys. I
July
hid
during the
one,
New York Attorney
and
General's
then I have one.
investigation and trial of his former boss. The 76-year-old Weisselberg came to court today in handcuffs. He was released until April 10th.
Oh, darn it, I'm
Sentenced
sorry.
to 5 months in jail.
I got some TV dinners for dinner.
For evading taxes on benefits he received as chief financial officer of the Trump Organization. But this time, he lied about his role in affirming the size of Trump's Fifth Avenue penthouse. Trump's financial statement said it's 30,000 square feet, but the Attorney General showed Trump's signature on a document certifying it's a third that size, 11,000 square feet. That false valuation is part of the reason Trump was held liable for fraud and ordered to pay a nearly $500 million civil penalty. Weisselberg did not implicate Trump. He left the Trump Organization last year with a $2 million severance.
Our thanks to Aaron. So much more to get to tonight. Coming up, we'll talk about the state of democracy.
Poor Texas is on fire. Darn it.
That may perhaps calm your qualms. The next chaos and a state of emergency
Yeah.
in this Caribbean nation.
And that country, Haiti, is going crazy. Sun went down. It's cold all of a sudden.
Gosh, I'm sorry.
No, it's perfectly all right. It's completely my fault. It's time so we can talk.
What about that?
What's that in your hand, Private?
Gummy dog, you want one?
Kansas, here we come.
But UNICEF says that the kids of Palestine were starving before October 7th. Now they just are literally dying of starvation. Like,
Ever have trouble deciding what to buy on Amazon? From fashion to foods, electronics, and accessories. Thanks to Amazon Live, shopping on Amazon
said-
is better than ever. What's up, y'all? Everyday
we've learned
sellers,
from Americans.
and experts. Screen finds that they bought and reviewed all on Amazon.
Americans, they want to
Still
dumbass president. Oh, let's send your money over there.
Yeah.
Fucking
Check
talk
it
sucker.
out at Amazon.com/live.
And now,
On the
you act like
Amazon
you give a
Live
shit,
shopping
you
app
want a
on Fire
ceasefire.
TV.
There are tons of
Fucking
rumors
incompetent.
swirling around.
Fucking
Let's go
idiots.
with what we know.
Didn't you want to drop bombs or
7-5 French phenom.
starve a bunch of women and children?
For American football.
Hello, handsome. Hello, Rosie.
Wi-Fi for
You
Jay.
hungry? Look, I got you some of this cat
for
food
William,
today.
who builds her own fun.
Where's Tiger?
Wi-Fi for William to help save the day. For roommates Joey and Kim and the games that they play. Wi-Fi that works way out here just for Lou. For Tia and Leah and all their guests too. Made for homes both big and small, Eero means fast, reliable Wi-Fi for all. Find your Wi-Fi system at Eero.com.
I'm Selena Wing in Hanoi, Vietnam. Wherever the story is, we'll take you there. We're streaming ABC News Live.
Welcome back. We're tracking several headlines around the world. The U.S. Embassy in Haiti is telling U.S. citizens to leave the country now after hundreds, if not thousands, of inmates broke out of the country's
Oh, it's getting
largest prison.
cold.
As according to 2 senior Haitian government officials, gangs on Saturday launched a massive coordinated assault on the facility and have been attacking government facilities for the past week in an attempt to immobilize the national police and throw out the acting prime minister. And take a look at this. Massive boulders and fruit are crashing down on vehicles, crushing cargo.
Wow.
Drivers fleeing for their lives. Officials are using these videos as part of their investigation and blaming heavy rain for loosening the boulders. Amazingly,
Wow.
no one was killed. The Eiffel
Highway
Tower
70,
sparkled
we have
today
that,
as
like,
thousands
every year
of
when the
abortion
rain
rights
comes,
activists celebrated the French
and
Parliament's
the-
vote to enshrine the right to abortion
The
in
highway
country's
is treacherous.
constitution.
And the
Words,
boulders.
My Body, My Choice were projected onto the Eiffel Tower. Vote in Parliament was not close, with more than 90% of the lawmakers present voting to approve. With Super
Hello,
Tuesday
Rosie.
just hours away, many believe that the biggest issue in our current
Oh, why am I so
atmosphere
cold?
is partisan polarization.
I'm so happy I
In
told my
fact,
kids I was
voters
bummed.
may simply not vote
It's like
again.
I got a brand new
Executive
lock.
Director of United
Lost the
America, Nick
keys.
Troiano, is here now to discuss Super Tuesday, the kind of political landscape, and his book, The Primary Solution.
How much of an
Rescuing Our
idiot can you
Democracy.
be?
Nick, welcome to the show. In your book, you say one of the biggest solvable problems
And they
fueling
kept two
political
keys together.
extremism and dysfunction is partisan primaries, but it's a system, of course, we've relied on for more than a century now. What are you
It's
proposing?
a good thing I found him, because otherwise I'd be whining like a little girl
I
right
call
now.
partisan primaries the
Yeah.
biggest
Darn
solvable
it.
problem in our politics today
Hello,
because
Magic.
it is disenfranchising millions of voters, particularly
Hello, Hanson.
independents
It's time to
who
smoke
are
some pot.
prohibited from voting in party primaries in close to 2 dozen states this year.
Hey, come here.
But it's also a solvable problem because at the
Where's
state
Tiger?
level, we can fix
Tiger.
it. We can open primaries so that every
Oh, man.
voter can vote for any candidate they want in every election. And we're already seeing some states move in this direction, whether it's Maine, that for the first time this year, independent voters will be able to
Magic.
participate, or states like Alaska,
growing up,
which has
Magic.
actually replaced its party primaries with a single nonpartisan primary with an all-candidate ballot. These are reforms that are taking root all across the country, and I think are
We need
a pragmatic
something
solution to
to
the
stop the
polarization that we
AIDS,
see
so we
today.
just be a little
And so
barbaric
you
all
just
the time.
mentioned Alaska as an example, a model of how some states have drastically changed their primary process. What do you think has worked for them, and do you think it's a model that other states could easily follow?
Well, what's worked is that in the past, like most states and most congressional elections, the elections that mattered were typically only the primary in which the parties would choose which candidate it would nominate, and that's because
I feel
most
so
of our
guilty because I cleaned my
elections are
refrigerator. I
so
threw
lopsided
all
from
this
one party to
carne
the other.
asada out of the way.
And
all
when
these chicken
primary
patties,
reforms
like
are enacted,
trash.
what it does is give all voters the
Feel like
chance
crap,
to
'cause
be able
look.
to vote on who represents them. And moreover, it gives those candidates and elected officials an incentive to campaign and to represent a majority of the electorate, not just the base of their party. And if we want to make progress on the big challenges facing the country,
Now
we
they
need
say
these
they're dropping
reforms because
supplies
right now
and
Congress
stuff.
is not
Didn't
representing
you
us.
wanna
We're not seeing action on
support
issues
them
even where a
and
majority of Americans agree.
kill
Well,
Palestinians?
you write how often
Isn't
the
that
primary election
the American
can
way?
decide the general election, and Unite America estimates up
There's
to
of course no
25% of
two-state
House
policy.
seats will effectively be decided
Colonialization.
by tomorrow. Is it a problem in your
Now it's to become to the point where it's genocide.
On Super Tuesday,
said
as you mentioned,
it's in our
close to a
genes.
quarter of the U.S. Congress will effectively be elected in these safe districts, and it will exclude millions of voters who aren't able even to participate in those party primaries. You know, a majority of veterans, for example, identify as independent. A majority of young people do. So our current system is telling the future of our country, those who fought for our country, that they don't have a voice.
It's kind of like
That's
ethnic
been
cleansing.
long, it's
You see,
un-American, and
like
this is why
they
it's so
have a
important to
militia
change it.
that is like a terrorist organization because they're extremists, but they have no weapons to
What would you say
fight.
to a voter who's just given up hope and is
Like
planning to
Ukraine,
stay
do you
off
see any
the election
bombs dropping on Moscow?
Listen, I think that there are still
Do you
multiple
see any
candidates
fucking
competing
bombs
even at
dropping
the
on Tel
presidential
Aviv?
level, and there are important races down ballot. So if you're
No,
able to
you
vote in
don't.
the primaries, I suggest you do so. But then get involved in this election.
If you're on the winning
reform
side,
movement. Look at organizations like
yippee-ki-yay.
Represent Open Primaries, where you can be part of the solution at the state level. I think that's one of the reasons why I remain so optimistic, is because improving our election system is a proud tradition in our country. As you mentioned, we didn't have primaries 100 years ago until we invented them. It was an improvement at the time, and today demands the same, that we update our election system for our own times to make progress for our democracy and the issues that we care about.
The only weird reason why I can relate to the Palestinians because my Bible says land of Palestine.
is now available wherever books are sold. And still to come,
That's
we sit down
before
with Nisha
75
Rogers
years
to
ago.
discuss her film,
Before there was the land of Israel. Because Americans are so whatever.
Insurance companies love using jingles to sell you.
Don't want to give them anything. We know October 7th was horrific. So you did some evil shit to about 2,000 people. So
So you've written a jingle about how we don't do jingles.
30,000 people, it's different if they're not women and children.
And choose coverage confidence from AAA.
Let's just say if he's glorified and justified, that's not justifiable homicide. War sucks. There's no, you know.
Introducing Alexa Emergency Assist. Hands-free, fast, 24/7.
They said before, because you used to have a drum and a trumpet and stand in a line and stuff, this guy was going to shoot George Washington. But he did not shoot George Washington because his back was turned. Try that in today's society. You got kids, George Washington? We're going to take them out. You got a wife? Now, come on. You know back in the day when people whatever, reap the land or do whatever, once they attack the women and the children, that's a red line. Hands off. There's no support anymore.
Welcome back. A family's life is
Look at fucking what's going on today. That cocksucking president. You want to send more money over there?
And a rare occurrence within their culture. His fight for justice,
The first aid didn't need no money. Didn't ask. It was like, oh, we're gonna send some money.
Talk with the director Nisha Pahuja to talk about the serious issues spotlighted in this film.
That fucker's not competent.
Real change.
Oh, the Oscars are coming up. Smoke some pot. Better enjoy life while we can, because
movie about masculinity. So how did this actual movie that you ultimately captured come into fruition?
So I was following the work of an NGO that's in this film, in Blue Tiger, and that NGO, I was following the work of the NGO, and they were running a gender sensitization program across the state of Jharkhand, and one of the men who was enrolled in this gender sensitization program,
a movie for the Oscars.
was the father of the film, and that's how I met him.
It's been reported widely that there's a rape every 20 minutes in India. Less than 30% are actually prosecuted. Do you feel
In India.
that this
Isn't that sad?
the impact to change?
You would never think, like, right? That's how you fuckers do it over there? I think there's billions of people over there.
It's actually a global and it's a universal problem. So for me, the importance of the film and the impact that I think this film can have is actually globally.
Well, I think the women need to start, like, carrying weapons. And, you know. It's like the world's going backwards. We're just fucking...
was really impactful in that it talked about how it's not easy to film love. And in some ways, this really is a love story from a father to his daughter.
Looks like a poor country. People have money.
That so eloquently.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. I mean,
Especially if you're in a hotel like that and wearing a suit.
It just was the truth, you know. It just is something that exists between them. This really, really special.
You would think an old school country like that has values or something, but no.
When he tells that story about how when his wife was pregnant, he really wanted it to be a girl, and that is so rare for India. You know, I mean, nobody wants a daughter, right? You always want your firstborn to be a son, and so the fact that he wanted a girl, I knew then that this was an unusual and a really special human being.
How did you end up incorporating Kieran into this? Because initially you were just going to do the whole story without her.
Well, initially she was going to be a much smaller part of the film, and we were going to obscure her identity. And you know, in some way, the fact that the film took 8 years to make was almost like it was meant to happen that way. Because by the time we were finished, she'd become an adult.
She speaks perfect English.
Decide whether she
Olympic-sized pool.
And she chose
So, Tech One, are you going to just take over my chat? Because I'm
Not to
done.
take anything away,
I think we're going to end my stream. But everyone, we'd like to thank you guys for dipping in. Maybe you could dip in Tech One's chat. Alright, we'll see you later. Have a good night.
Thank you for saying that. Yeah, I think, you know, for me, it is without a doubt the reason I became a documentary filmmaker. It's really clear for me.